My parents made me believe I was adopted as punishment. When I was 8, I accidentally broke one of my mom's antique vases. It wasn't on purpose. I was just running around with my brother. He didn't defend me. She looked at him, then at me, furious. Of course, the adopted one had to be the clumsy one, she muttered, but I heard it. I laughed, thinking it was a joke. But at dinner, I wasn't seated in my usual spot. My plate wasn't served. My dad simply said, "From now on, you'll have to earn everything. You're not our daughter, remember?" I thought it was a game. But then my brother started calling me the other one. My parents gave me chores I'd never done before. Washing dishes, sweeping the yard, organizing their shoes. When I asked why, they told me, "Your biological parents couldn't take care of you. We did you a favor." Days went by. Every time I made a mistake, they reminded me that I wasn't like them, that I came from somewhere else. I started to doubt. I looked at baby pictures and found none of them in the hospital with me. I asked my aunt, she stayed silent. I asked my grandma. She said, "You shouldn't know that. You're too young." I became scared to ask more. I stopped talking to friends. I isolated myself. I thought if I was adopted, I could be sent away again. That if I wasn't perfect, they'd give me back. When I was 12, I found my birth certificate hidden in a drawer. My mom's name was the same as always. So was my dad's. I froze. I ran to show them, shaking. "This is fake," my dad said, snatching it from my hands. I started writing everything down in a notebook. Every time they told me I was a burden. Every time my brother said I wasn't real. Every birthday, I was ignored. Until one day, a teacher found me crying after class. He made me talk. I told him everything. Days later, a social worker called me in. She asked if I wanted to live with another family. I said no, they were my parents. It's just that sometimes it felt like they hated me. She said she believed me, that I wasn't crazy. When I got home, my dad was waiting with my notebook in his hands. They had read everything. I thought he would hit me, but he just said, "You're ungrateful. Looking for attention? Now everyone thinks we're monsters." That night, they locked me in my room, took away my phone, banned me from going to school for a week. But it was too late. Someone had already spoken. A month later, I was living with my aunt. Not because my parents had abandoned me, but because the state decided I wasn't safe there. It hurt, but at least no one was lying to me anymore. 3 years later, at a hearing, my mom testified that it had all been an educational strategy. We just wanted her to value what she had. It was only a method. The judge just stared at her and wrote something down. When we left the courtroom, my mom said to me angrily, "If you talked less, you'd already be home." "If you hadn't talked so much, I'd never have left," I replied without looking at her. I never went back to them, and they never called me their daughter again.